Happy holidays. Welcome in again. It's been a quick 12 months. I know it feels like it was just the Super Bowl. It's been a quick 9 months since I began this channel, but we got a lot to get into. A lot of updates on my vintage Topps master sets. Got some PC and oddball pickups. Got some other little things to talk about, a couple of shout outs. But we'll talk about some books first, some recommended reading, as I like to call it. And my friend Keith over at Vintage Card Curator suggested a book over the summer, and I'm sure a couple of you have even read it by now. It's called K, A History of Baseball in 10 Pitches, and the author of the book interviewed pretty much anyone who was anyone in the world of pitching, and those who aren't alive anymore, did a lot of research, and goes through quite an extensive history of how the pitches were contrived, how pitchers threw them, some specific games in which they were used to win, important games, World Series championships, things like that. It's a great, well-written book. Another one I just became aware of, my friend down in Georgia, Chris, modern vintage collector, suggested this Ty Cobb book, A Terrible Beauty, which is the good guy Ty Cobb book, dispelling a lot of myths and rumors regarding his upbringing and his play in the field and his views of other people. It's another well-written book, different side that you're not used to reading about the Georgia Peach. So thanks to those guys for the recommendations, and definitely check out their channels. They're definitely worth watching. Some great content on it. Vintage Card Curator and Modern Vintage Collector. A lot of vintage going on around here. I like that. Here's a few other titles that I enjoyed reading. Baseball Codes, The Unwritten Rules of the Game. Pretty much self-explanatory. Became popularized really during the time of Dallas Braden. Get off my damn mound, he yelled to Alex Rodriguez. But this goes into specific games and specific instances in which the rule book really doesn't give you one way or the other. It's really policed by the players themselves. The ones that are okay to steal third base when you're up by so many runs late in the game. Should you bunt for a base hit when there's a no-hitter being thrown? Things of that nature. Lefty Gomez biography, co-written by his granddaughter, talks not just about how great of a pitcher he was in the early days, helping teams like the Yankees win, but also what a great presence he was in the clubhouse, that veteran ear and mind that the old school players like Babe Ruth would go to for advice. And so she goes through his whole upbringing and breaking into the game and becoming one of those fantastic old school pitchers. And he's definitely overlooked, I think. Should give him more of a look at his stats, Lefty Gomez. And then the Pittsburgh Cocaine 7 talks about the scandal in the late 70s into the mid 80s with a handful of players that were under the watchful eye of the government and the fans of theirs who wanted to get closer to their heroes, that helped them actually try to get away with some drug use and cover-ups, and how the fans themselves got on the wrong side of the law. So another interesting read. A lot of baseball reading to go along with the other titles in which I mentioned in my previous video many months ago called Recommended Reading, so definitely check that out if you get the chance. A couple other channels with good content and some milestones reached. Our friend Tony at Psyched On Baseball Cards finished his 1960 Topps set. Congratulations, Tony. He was looking for this card, Boston Red Sox team. You see, I had it all along, Tony. He just had to ask, but congrats. It's a great looking binder and great looking slab cards too. And also our friend Alex at Bowman 53, he finished his, what set was he working on again? Oh, that's right, 1953 Bowman color. This is the only one I have, a 53 Bowman. So Alex did it, finally. Love the Pee Wee Reese, love all the cards in that set as well. Two good looking sets, 1960 Topps, 1953 Bowman. I told you guys I'd have a beer to celebrate, and cheers. I already drank these, so I'm just gonna put these over here for now. Another video I put out a few months ago talked about Cap Anson and his number of career hits that he supposedly got, may have not gotten. I came up with a number I think is true to the stats and the playing time that he put together. So definitely check that out when you can. Check them all out. And I emailed our friends again over at baseballreference.com because I just want to kind of tie everything together, get everybody on the same page, you know. And I was going through the website and I noticed that Ichiro Suzuki's numbers between his playing time in Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball League and Major League Baseball were listed separately and on different pages as part of their site. But they still kept Anson's totals on the same page. So I emailed and wrote them, "Why don't you separate Anson's stats between his time in the National Association and the National League, since the NA is not recognized as an official league? His hits totals is currently combined from both." And their response was, "There is dispute over whether to include the National Association as a major league, but we've made the decision of including them as part of Major League Baseball history." Wouldn't it be more logical to split them, make 2 pages, and still keep the numbers true to Major League history? I'm going to still keep pushing and try to get them to see my side of the argument. I made a slight error on my autographed baseball contest response for the Ticket Leprechaun a few weeks ago. I erroneously called Enos Slaughter Big Country. Big Country was the nickname given to Bryant Reeves, who played in the NBA for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Enos Slaughter was just known as Country, even though he was only 5'9". So, I spoke to you a few months ago about some oddball sets I was putting together and went into detail about these 1990 to 93 Upper Deck Baseball Heroes inserts, and more notably the autographs that were signed to, I think it was 2,500 of each player through the series. And I've left out the most important part about figuring out if you got a legitimate autograph or not. On the back of each card, Upper Deck put a foil hologram to let you know that the cards were in fact authentic. However, on the backs of officially autographed inserts, each one has a different shaped hologram than the non-autographed cards. Autographs from every year of the release have always been in the shape of a baseball infield diamond. The non-authentic Upper Deck cards have holograms shaped like a baseball in 1990, a home plate in 91, and a baseball field with a rounded top in 92. So if you're looking for authentic autographed cards that were signed in person, authenticated by Upper Deck, and inserted in the foil packs, they all come with the baseball infield on the back. I also had a bit of confusion about the 1988 Topps UK set, the regular versus glossy. I heard there was a glossy version. I couldn't tell what the difference was. I got the correct answer from our friends at Trading Card Database, which knows that there is a glossy version of the set which has a thicker coat, though the backs don't change color like the Topps Tiffany does to its counterpart. Every card I had seemed to have a glossy feel to it. And when I picked up this George Brett card from my friend Project 88 TTM, I noticed it did have a matted finish. It wasn't slick or glossy. I can tell the difference looking at it. You can't see by the camera, but there definitely is a difference on the glossy coat and the feel of it. So there is a difference, and now I need a regular Robin Yount and a glossy George Brett. More for the oddball pile. Let's breeze through some mail day items, some PC and oddball items I picked up. Found some Don Mattingly cards from 1985, his Donruss Diamond King and base card, his 85 Fleer and Topps, and also a 96 Topps. Picked up this complete 10 card set of Baseball Heroes, the Johnny Bench Joe Morgan Big Red machine. Got all 10, completed that set in one shot. Found these 3 Tom Glavine cards from 93 Fleer Highlight, the inserts that were available only through a mail-in offer. Got all 3 of these at one time, so that set is complete. And I decided to start this oddball set, 1991 Topps Rack Pack Glossy All-Star of 22 cards. This series started in 1984 with the front saying 1983 All-Star, and the 91s, as you can tell by the 40th anniversary logo on the fronts, as all their 91 cards had, is the last one in this run. So I picked up a bunch of these, including Wade Boggs, Cal Ripken, the honorary captains. Picked up 23 in all, so I need to finish that set as next year goes along. Some more PC stuff for my 300 Saves Club, Kenley Jansen, 400 Home Run Club, Nelson Cruz, 2,000 wins as a manager, Bruce Bochy. And then for the 2000 Hit Club, upcoming, hopefully, perhaps, Yadi Molina, first year card, Adam Jones, and Ryan Braun. We'll see if they can enter that exclusive club. And lastly, before we get into the vintage stuff, I had a quick mail day. Got a tip from my friend Tony Black, who let me onto a correct address for TTM request on Hall of Famer Goose Gossage. And I had a photograph I took with the Hall of Famer at a show in Long Island, which I had for many, many years, and I finally decided to send it to him, and hopefully he'd send it back autographed, and he did. In the note that I wrote him, I said, by the way, that's you on the left side, just in case you were wondering. But he sent it back to me pretty quickly, addressed it to me, a great baseball fan, it says over his left shoulder. Nice meeting you. Your pal, Goose Gossage, and a Hall of Fame inscription. So that's a really cool pickup to have that. Thank you very much, Mr. Gossage. And now we move on to the good stuff, the vintage. My vintage Topps Master Set run begins in 1954. And I mentioned in my top 10 most wanted countdown a couple weeks ago that the number one card I need is the last of the 1954s, Jack Dittmer. I still need it, so we're down to one on that set in due time, right? 1955, I'm down to just 12. I picked up this Gene Freeze, the only one from 55 that I have so far. I need two variations, Herman Wiemeyer and Frank Sullivan, and that set shall be complete. I found 4 base cards from my 1958 master set, and that takes me down to 12 to complete the master. I need 3 base cards, 8 yellow card variations, and 1 team variation. The yellow cards are going to include Roberto Clemente, or Bob Clemente as they know him as, and Al Kaline. So it's going to be a little ways before we can get that whole thing done. And some of the yellow letters are a bit tricky to find, so we're going to take our time on that one. I did find this Mike Lee from 1960, so again, it takes me down to just 1 Ken Walters, the last one from 1960 I need, so if you know where he is, send him my way. 2 cards from 1961 takes me down to 4 needed for the 61 master set. 1962 is probably going to be the one that takes me the most amount of time. I need 30 cards, and they're all part of the second series green tint variations. I decided to go for the super set on that one, and I need to pick up another Al Kaline, Tim McCarver rookie, and 9 of the 10 Babe Ruth specials. And I think I need a Dean Chance as well. I think that was his second year, rookie year. I think it was his rookie year. I need a bunch of green tints, so it's going to be a little time consuming and go through and get really nice examples of each, because I want to match the rest of the master set I have right now. Now some good news. I got to finish some of these sets at some time, right? Well, part 1 of 5 in the good news finished set collection will be 1963. Dick Donovan and 63 rookie stars featuring Ron Taylor are here. 1963 master set is complete. Fantastic feeling. Love the set, love the players, love the colors, love the inset photos. I have all the variations. That one is done. Talking about the top 10 most wanted, this was on it. And this Harmon Killebrew is mine now. It's beautiful, beautiful edges and corners, and centering is so good, and the back is cleaner than I used to have, so I upgraded this. 1964 Topps master set is complete. It's number 2. Very exciting, because this is a good looking set too. I really fell in love with this set once I was putting it together. And the Killebrew is beautiful. Bob Miller, pitcher of the Dodgers, 1965. Captured him, which means I'm down to just 1 needed on my 1965 set, and that's the Steve Carlton rookie. The trimmed card that I had, I put in his PC. I'm just going to leave it there forever, and I'm going to think about maybe picking up a slabbed Carlton rookie, maybe like in a 6 or a 7, something a little higher end than I have in the rest of my set now, but he's the last one. Lefty. It's going to be great to get him. Another one of him. 1970, I had some problems with some edge wear and corners and bends and you name it, centering on the back and print marks, and I did a really, really good job of picking up a bunch of 1970s here, including a Tug McGraw, Bernie Carbo rookie, leader cards, some other rookie cards, another Harmon Killebrew, Tom Seaver in the playoffs. So a big pile of 1970s here. Going to feel real good putting them in my 9 pocket pages, and I'll be down to just 9 to finish that master set. So we're getting closer on a lot of these. 1971s were giving me a problem because of one card, but I picked up these four, including Doc Ellis, Leo the Lip, and Jim Lonborg. So I'm down to just 6 on the 1971s. This checklist 619 is a tough one to find because it's the third variation in which there's a highlight on the front of the cartoon batter's helmet in black that outlines the white. And it's a very, very difficult card to find, and this one has got marks and scratches and checklists filled in. And I picked it up because it's the only one I've ever seen. So I got it now, and it's a placeholder. And when the time comes, I'll find another one, I'll get it. Another top 10 wanted, crossed off, 1972 Johnny Bench. Well-centered example of this card. Nothing frayed on the bottom edges or corners like my previous one was. So 1972, we're down to just one card. Hal McRae in action. Got to get one that's in centered. A lot of them in bad centering examples I see out there. 1973 tops, I have the Chicago White Sox unnumbered team checklist card. Not officially part of the base set, but it goes well with the set. So I need 2 more of these. I need a LA Dodgers and a Chicago Cubs, and I want to get the tops version. There's a tops and an OPC, and all of mine are tops, so we'll keep it the same. And then those 2 will complete my 1974s. 1973s, I beg your pardon. I got excited to tell you about my 1974s because I found the last 2 cards I needed to complete that set, including the variation of Randy Jones with the Washington National League team. So these last 2 cards finish my 1974s. 1975, Bill Fahey. The second to last card I need to finish this complete set. No variations in this year. I'm just down to Rick Wise, and 1975s will be complete. And the last card I needed in my top 10 list, it's going to be a whole new top 10 list in the new year. It's great. 1977, George Brett. Last card I needed for the 77s. This set is officially complete. And this looks great. Great shot. Love the All-Star banner. Beautiful. So as I mentioned in my 1970s upgrade update videos, 1976 was done. It's complete. 1978s all the way through 1981 are all done. My 1982s, the good news is I've found out, again from our friends at Trading Card Database, that the third, what I thought was the third version of the Tom Seaver All-Star card does not exist, in which the bio on the back of the card, which spells the word tied, I thought also came with the word the, but it doesn't, so don't need the card, it's not out there. But the one that is out there, the variation for Pascual Perez rookie card with no name on front, that one is the last one I need to finish the 82 master set. So I'll be on the hunt for that. Eyes peeled, ready to go. That's 82. So 83 through 86 have been complete long time ago. And then the last set that I've made a video of so far, 1987 tops, I needed 2 variations. 1-2 Urbano Lugo and Joe Negro variations. Finally found them. These were tough to find, and I paid a little bit more than I should have, I'm sure, for them. But 87 master set is complete. In the new year, I'll be doing info videos on the 1988 and 1989 master sets. I'll show the variations and where I stand in completing those. I'm also going to break open that 1990 Topps Cello box and the extra packs from National Baseball Card Day that I picked up during the summer. I'll create another highlight video of that release featuring all the facts and subsets, and then we'll see if I can put a complete set together from all those cards. So that's it for now. There's a lot of stuff to go through. It's enough for now. I got to go through and organize all this stuff, put them in my boxes and my pages and my binders and in my PC stuff. There's a lot of fun work to do. I have one more video in 2019 on this channel to be released. It's going to come out on New Year's Eve, and what better way to go out in 2019 than to talk about all my collecting goals for 2020. And I'm sure you know what a couple of them are by going through this video. But until then, I wish you and yours very happy, safe, healthy holidays, whatever you celebrate, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out.